Hi, I'm Shelley Wood. I'm a photographer, an artist, and an educator. I'm really happy to be able to participate in East 2020. With the expansion of the boundaries, I get to do East from LamWood Ranch. So, welcome, come on in, and I'll show you around. Right here behind me, my favorite tree. I'll show you some images with it in it. This work is titled For All Trees, and it's dedicated to all the trees that we have lost in droughts. About 8 years ago, I started experimenting with double exposures in camera. So shot with film, double exposed in the camera. This piece is called Cloud Tree. My aunt, Shelley Wood, is a pilot. She came to visit me in Austin one day and took me flying. This is how I was able to do the second exposure of this tree up in the clouds. One of many big spaces I get to play in when creating my art. This is Shoestring. She had a wonderful personality. This image is also shot with infrared film, which gives it that dreamy look. This image, Odessa, was shot at the back of the studio. One year we had a really big freeze, and he's just running around being a happy dog. Here's our barn, which is a pretty dilapidated looking barn, but you know what? It gets excellent light. So it's a really good place to shoot. I'll step inside and give you a look. See? Gets great light. I'll show you an example. This is Fresca. Her mother, Mary, was my first horse, so I was with Fresca since the day she was born. The day I took this portrait of her, it was rainy, and I didn't really give it a second thought that she was laying down in the barn. Plus, she was almost 29 years old, so she would rest. It was a few days later I noticed she had some edema, and then I realized she had cancer. I titled this piece The Beginning of the End. This is Frosty, our llama, who has passed away, and a monarch butterfly. For a really long time, I was trying to figure out how I could photograph and honor the monarchs that migrate through here. I finally figured it out through using my double exposure in camera technique. This piece is titled Transitioning Strength. In 1999, I married my husband, Jason Lambert, and LamWood was born. Shortly thereafter, we moved out in southeast Austin to 10 acres. We named our place LamWood Ranch. My work here is about connecting with the land, the animals, things you observe that happen, things you create that you want to photograph. This artwork is titled Dogs in a Hole. Odessa, the dad, is on the left. Ginger, his daughter, is on the right. Odessa started the digging. Ginger joined in. It turned into this rather large hole. They never pulled anything out of it, but whatever was decomposed in it must have been really stinky, stinky good. This is the Grinch. She's an Angora goat. The goats need to be sheared 1 to 2 times a year. As Jason was preparing to shear her, I saw a photograph. I threw up a backdrop. I asked Jason if I could put up a hot light and take some photographs quickly during the shearing process. I ended up naming this photograph Dressed for the Oscars. In order to create this image, I had to be really patient and persevere to get each little kid to settle down and stay sleeping in the bucket. I titled this piece Kids in a Bucket. Rattlesnakes, never thought I'd have to deal with those. I deal with them pretty much now, a lot. As you can probably see, here's another in-camera double exposure with a rattlesnake. I've named this work Big Tail. Tail is spelled T-A-L-E. For this image, I put the rattlesnake on top of a very large brush pile. I call this work huge, all caps, Y-U-G-E. There's a lot that goes on here that mirrors life on the outside. I personally feel that our country has been in chaos for the last 4 years. I've titled this in-camera double exposure Chaos, and I spell it in all caps. This is Mackenzie Peppertoes, aka Mac, and some baby mice. He does this thing when he runs around on the property and he hunts and he hops and he bounces, and it's really hard to capture him hunting. So I figured out a way to do it using the double exposure technique. This piece is called Happy Hunting. This is Little Blue, aka LB. He's the patriarch of all the goaters right now. This particular piece I've titled Bullets. Not all, but most of my LamWood Ranch work is shot with film, mainly because I started it so long ago. I'm in the darkroom here on the light table with some of my tools, my contact sheet, loop, and negatives. After a printing session of working on an image, I take the best of those final prints, and then they are selenium split toned. After my split toning session in the darkroom, the prints need to be archivally washed, which is what's happening here. With split toning, you get a window of time where you start to see some reds and some blues in your black and white prints. This image here was shot digitally, and it is titled Have a Ball. Not all artwork is created accident-free. This digital image on the left is titled Mackie Joy. I want to thank all of you for attending the virtual studio tour of LamWood Ranch today. Please feel free to reach out to me via any of the contact information displayed here. Please, everyone, stay safe, healthy, and happy.